The school I went to was called Pura Number 1 Middle School, or Pura Shi Ijong, and had about 3,500 kids in it, between 50 and 70 a class.
I was in Yunnan province in the town of Chuxiong. It's about 2 hours outside of Kunming. And I was an English teacher there for a high school. So I taught Senior 1 and Senior 2.
So I was teaching at a middle school in a small city. It was the number 1 middle school in Chujing. We taught the equivalent of Australian Year 11s, so they were around 16 to 18, and also the equivalent of maybe Year 7, so they were quite a bit younger, 12 to 14.
My role within the school was to promote English, get the students interested in learning it and enthusiastic about learning it. I wasn't there to teach them perfect grammar, but I was there to get them inspired and get them to want to learn English.
When I had my first sort of sit down with our link teacher at the school, their hope for us is that we would work on conversational English with the students. So they didn't want us to do any sort of lecturing, reading, grammar. They said leave that to the teachers, they'll do it the right way, and we can work on conversation. And so the sort of goal was that I would stand at the front and talk as little as possible, and give sort of a discussion topic, more of a dialogue that the students could practice between them and themselves. So every class I would try and have a theme: restaurant, space, travel. We'd go through some different vocabulary to do with that. And then work our way up to building a dialogue that they could practice and then share with the rest of the class, was my general structure. The class sizes was about 60 or 70 kids per class, but it was all pretty in a smallish classroom, so it felt pretty condensed. It wasn't like we were talking to a massive lecture hall. And so, I mean, when you have a class that size, I found it really hard I didn't even try and learn everyone's name, and you can't even try and have like a special connection with everyone. You just gotta try and, find something that will talk to the masses really well. And so while sure it was intimidating and tricky the first month, you definitely find your sweet spot and sort of figure out what's gonna work, what's not gonna work in a class that size, and also sort of realize that you can't possibly interact with everyone, and just sort of give up on that dream.
You modify what you're doing, and you learn what things work and what things don't work, and you edit it, and eventually you come to a point where the classes are really great and the kids are responding, and they're super enthusiastic, and they want you to come to class, and they want to be in that class, and that's the best feeling ever.